New COVID-19 cases in Minnesota are rising so fast that it is once again putting pressure on the state's hospital systems. We heard that same message from our local hospitals.
So we are seeing an increased volume in terms of admissions for COVID, and we're also seeing an increased number of COVID positive patients in our ERs and also our urgent cares.
Dr. Oglen says both Maple Grove and North Memorial hospitals are at capacity for bed space, and it's so bad patients are having to wait in the emergency room until a bed opens up.
It's consuming the hospital beds and consuming the ICUs and the ERs and that type of thing. We are full. I think most of the metro hospitals are full from the numbers that we're seeing.
State officials are asking Minnesotans to take precautions against spreading COVID at Thanksgiving and in the upcoming holiday season, especially when students come home from college. The Maple Grove Hospital has been the largest birth center for the state for the last 2 years. We sat down with the Director of Women and Children's Services there, Faith ZWIRCHITZ, to learn more about what it's like to manage such a high-volume facility during such a challenging time.
There's a lot of planning behind the scenes of anticipating what kind of scenarios and families will get to care for. So we work really hard to not have bottlenecks in the flow of the patient's stay, and that it's a easy and seamless one for our families. We try to ensure that we have an environment that's calm and comforting and quiet, and that's one thing that we hear from our families a lot, which is a moment of pride, because we know behind the scenes it's not necessarily quiet, but the planning ahead of time to think through how to have spaces that are calming and quiet for the healing experience, for the bonding experience, has been one that has shown well.
How did you guys have to pivot during the pandemic?
The pandemic has brought a variety of challenges and requirements to pivot, and mostly around how do we make sure that moms, babies, families stay safe and yet continue to have each other to bond with and for these experiences that are once in a lifetime. So our visitation guidelines, being very mindful about how it is that we continue to keep families together as much as we possibly can. Pivoting from a staffing perspective, making sure we have healthy team members in to work, and when they're not, how do we cover for the gaps? So having different staffing plans for coverage has been a big deal. And care for our families and our mamas who actually do have COVID. We've had a number of those, and so making sure that baby stays as healthy as possible in light of the unique bonding time of being a newborn.
And finally, can you tell me one of the fun moments of the past few years when so many babies have come through? What stands out?
What stands out? So many fun moments. We love to celebrate. So we love to celebrate, be it big milestones like this 50,000th baby that's been born, and the knitting grandmothers who knit some hats to celebrate, or be it just the unique moments in time. So we average about 14 babies a day in birth. But we did have a time not long ago where in 48 hours we had 48 births. And so that's a time where the team bonds in unique ways and really is able to enjoy thinking about the impact that we have in connecting with the community in that way.
He's a Vietnamese-American storyteller and a graphic novel artist who grew up right here in Brooklyn Park. And now he's known all over the country as Trungles. His first debut novel, published by Random House Graphic, is named one of the best books of the year by New York Public Library. Our own Nina Bupasavan has a story.
Drawing became my mode of expression. It was the thing that I understood the best, I think.
Nothing stays blank for long when this artist picks up a pen. Each stroke builds an image.
Yeah.
An elaborate vision from his heart that tells a deeper story. A talent he's had since childhood. A past that still inspires him today.
I've always been really interested in picture books when I was a kid because my parents and I were learning the English language sort of concurrently at the same time. So we'd go to the library, we'd pick up a bunch of books.
Trung NGUYEN, or Trungles, is now writing and drawing his own books. The Magic Fish is his latest masterpiece that has been named one of the best books of the year.
The Magic Fish is kind of a big love letter to all of the fairy tales my parents and I read together. That was a memory that I've very strongly sentimentalized, and it's stayed with me for all my life. It's a story that is about how people kind of do their best with the tools that they're given and how you can really cross a lot of boundaries even though you don't have all of the right tools to say everything exactly the way that you want to. A lot of the narrative elements of some of the parent characters reflected a lot of my parents' experiences as well. They were Vietnamese boat people, they were refugees, they landed in the Philippines, and that's where I was born. So we had this experience of being a refugee family.
An experience he says keeps his family close, even when they can't always see his vision.
He was always very passionate about drawing, but I tried to talk him out of that as a career, because I knew it's going to be very difficult for him to survive in that stage. And then well, he proved me wrong.
I get to tell stories and do things artistically that are really fulfilling.
Proving pictures can sometimes say a lot more than words can.
I think seeing him happy, that's all I really care about. But like I said, he proved me wrong, so just keep doing what he is doing right now. Be good.
Nina Bupasavan, CCX News.
And if this last week's dusting of snow has you thinking winter, we'll leave you with this last story. The staff at Elm Creek Park are thinking ahead too. You can see the snow machines are already out and ready to go. Three Rivers Park District is still hiring for winter seasonal positions at the Elm Creek Park Reserve. You can sign up online, and you can also mark your calendar for the Minnesota Nordic Ski Opener, which is at Elm Creek Park on Saturday, December 11th. That will be an opportunity for the entire family to try out cross-country skiing for free.